Hi there! Details from the biographical records of Jesus of Nazareth and surrounding events correspond to ancient mythology. Skeptics claim that this refutes Christianity. However, comparative lists constructed by non-Christians exclude the differences between early Christianity and ancient mythology. Including the radical differences paints a different picture. Especially glaring is that Krishna was said to have 16,000 wives, while Jesus never married. And Horus's father, the god Osiris, was killed and dismembered, then his body eaten by catfish. And his mother was the goddess Isis, not a human woman like Mary. Besides, several stories from mythology are paraphrased and given Christian terms in order to make them resemble the Christian gospel when they actually do not. I realize that Jesus' life and surrounding events are archetypal. An archetype is a literary device in which a character is created based on a set of qualities or specific traits identifiable to readers. But archetypes are part of humanity's collective unconscious and/or memory of universal experiences. These archetypal characters, and sometimes images or themes, symbolically embody universal meanings and basic human experiences. These modes of thought are apparently present in the subconscious of individuals. So conforming to archetypes makes excellent sense since it fulfills the longing in human hearts and minds. Regardless, Jesus, unlike our other archetypal characters, is the union of those two things, myth and historical representation. Sometimes the objective world and the narrative world touch in synchronicity. Besides, Jesus not only fulfills the hero archetype, he perfects it by bringing it to its ultimate zenith. That is, even surpassing that of superhero by claiming to conquer all death and usher in a new universe. Moreover, Christianity's core foundational elements, being identical to earlier events in mythology, such as a God becoming man, deicide, reanimating, and 12 disciples, is as natural as pagans and Christians both choosing to cuddle with kittens rather than venomous snakes and cacti. History abounded with renowned philosophers who applied their minds to theological profundities, naturally concluding that life could not exist without a creator. The next logical step would be observing that harmoniousness is natural and integral to life. Since an evidentiary creator has been deduced along with natural harmony, yet nature is often embattled, logic says creation degenerated from the creator's plan. Degeneration then requires regeneration, reconnecting with what has been degenerated, and we must include both parties reconnecting. Since creator and creation were disconnected, an advocate, both man and God, is the most logical conclusion. If the advocate was less than man, such as a lizard, he could not understand how to rectify the broken situation. If the advocate was more than man, such as the colossal winged being made of titanium steel, he would be incomprehensible and would not share the human experience. For this advocate to be both God and human, he must be born of a virgin woman, since males cannot bear children, and the other party must be God. A man blasting his seed skyward towards a heavenly female god is unreasonable, but a male god could sensibly send down miraculous seed. This man god had to be male, since women did not take leadership roles. Dying for fellow men is logically the ultimate commitment, and conquering death, humanity's greatest fear and most permanent foe, by rising from it is the greatest feat. If Christ did less than this, he would fail man's highest expectations and imaginings. If he did more than this, such as randomly altering everyone's molecular structure with cosmic radiation a la the Fantastic Four, he would be sidetracked from his purpose of redeeming and regenerating humanity. Since everyone knows that water is naturally purifying, no wonder ancient cultures endowed washing in water with spiritual meaning. God choosing to make Christian baptism spiritually empowering would flow from natural human yearnings, making a mental connection between physical and spiritual cleansing. Throughout history, the number 12 has dominated human thinking. There are 12 inches in a foot, 12 in a dozen, days and nights have 12 hours, hours and minutes have 60 a multiple of 12, etc. Having 12 disciples naturally avoided endless argument over how many disciples there should be. Thirdly, the most important and indispensable component of Christianity is love. It is considered so important that Christians are supposed to love God with every fiber of their being and love their neighbors. Without love, Christian scripture says, you are nothing. Instead of lumping together Christianity and mythology, lump ancient Greek, Egyptian, Mediterranean, Norse, and Roman mythology with atheistic philosophy, since none are founded in love. Christ is so universally recognized as a historical figure, your numbers are based on his birth, which were slightly altered via changes between the Gregorian and Julian calendars. In sharp contrast, other characters' accounts are universally understood as non-historical. Most significantly, Jesus has detailed genealogies. Matthew 1:1-17, presumably the ancestry of stepfather Joseph, and Luke 3:23-38, presumably the record of Mother Mary's ancestry. Fictional characters do not have such ancestral records. To recapitulate, A, excluding what is dissimilar between Christianity and paganism paints a false picture. B, a fulfillment of expected archetypes and logical domino effect beg the same scenario as historical Christianity. C, the all-important concept of love makes Christianity unique. And D, Christ is clearly historical while the pagan stories are clearly myths. Finally, although paganism predated Christianity, it itself is predated and trumped by God, who created the human brain from which paganism sprung. So this desperate attempt to debunk Christianity fails completely. Stay tuned for upcoming videos.